You told yourself it was gone, that the flames that once lived inside you had burned out, leaving only smoke and silence. You convinced yourself that nothing stirred anymore, that the passion that once set your chest alight had cooled into embers too faint to matter. It was easier that way, wasn't it? To believe the fire was finished, to cover it with ash and call it survival. You told yourself you had matured, that you had learned restraint, that you no longer needed the recklessness of heat. You traded your blaze for composure, for control, for the comfort of appearing untouchable. But here is the thing about fire. It does not die so easily. Even under ash, embers breathe. Even buried, they wait. And you feel it sometimes, don't you? The faint pulse under your skin, the restless twitch in your chest, a flicker that catches when a memory brushes too close, when a dream you thought forgotten scrapes its way back into your throat. You try to shake it off. You tell yourself it's nothing, but deep down you know it is not gone. It has been waiting, because fire does not care for your tidy plans. Fire does not respect the lies you tell yourself about control. Fire only knows how to consume, how to spread, how to turn silence into something unbearable. You smothered it with ash, thinking you were burying danger, but you were also burying your vitality. The blaze you silenced was the same one that gave you wonder, that gave you hunger, that made you feel alive in a world that would rather see you subdued. And when you smothered it, the world praised you for it. They called you disciplined. They called you steady. They called you wise. They applauded your calm, never noticing that your stillness was not peace, it was suffocation. And now the embers stir. One spark, that is all it takes, a word that cuts too deeply, a dream you cannot quite erase, a glimpse of someone living as if the world cannot cage them, and suddenly your ash is glowing from beneath. Suddenly the thing you thought was gone is clawing its way out, hungrier than before. Do you feel the heat rising? It frightens you, doesn't it? You were told anger was dangerous. You were told desire was weakness. You were told to fold yourself into smaller flames until you could no longer scorch. But the fire inside you never believed that. It remembers what you were before you learned to shrink. And it does not care how many layers of ash you piled over it, because fire is patient. Fire is relentless. Fire will wait for decades if it must, but it will not vanish. And here is the truth you can no longer escape. One day, that spark will ignite again. You cannot predict it. You cannot control it. But when it comes, it will burn through every silence you built to contain it. It will tear through every wall you stacked against yourself. And when it does, you will have a choice: to let it consume you blindly, or to claim it and burn with intention. Because the fire is not here to destroy you. It is here to remind you of the laughter you once allowed to roar unashamed. Remind you of the hunger that once drove you to chase what others said was impossible. Remind you of the rage that once taught you deserved better. These are not weaknesses. They are your fuel. They are the blaze you were always meant to carry. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will frighten you to stand in the flames again. But tell me, what is life without heat? What is love without sparks? What is truth without fire to forge it into something that lasts? So let it rise, let it burn. Let the silence you smothered for years crack and collapse under the weight of your own returning blaze. Because even if the world prefers you cold and quiet, you were not born to live as ash. You were born to burn.